Yes, namaste and welcome everyone for today's webinar. Students and faculty speak on Hindu studies at Hindu University of America. We've got a really cool, interesting, engaging webinar today. Pragyaji is with us. You know her because she calls you trying to get you to enroll. We've got President of HUA, Shri Kalyan Viswanathan. We have several students with us today as well. Pragyaji, maybe you'll get a chance to introduce them as we move into the program. But let me just start with kind of the context, right? What does being a conscious, engaged, and resilient Hindu mean? The certificate program in Hindu studies, CPHS, prepares students to engage with the world as a Hindu with confidence and clarity. It enables and promotes intergenerational resilience. It goes beyond seeking peace and spiritual grounding, i.e., the Adhyatmic dimension of Hindu Dharma, which is necessary and critically important, but insufficient to engage with the world, especially an unfriendly one. So, in short, it supports this certificate program in Hindu studies, supports students discovering and embracing their Swadharma. We have a whole class on Swadharma, which leads to a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. So we're going to get into this webinar. We're going to have different students, as you can see in our panel. We're going to have some faculty and Shri Kalyan Viswanathan, the president of Hindu University of America, sharing their thoughts about the centrality, the importance of the certificate program in Hindu studies and what it can offer people who are willing to commit to its rigor. So if you haven't yet, please put in the chat where you are zooming in from. I can give you a quick shout out. Dilipji from Maryland, glad to join, glad to have you with us today. Krishnanji from Mumbai, welcome, welcome. Dr. Satish Asotra from Toronto, Canada, glad to have you on. Okay, with that brief introduction, we got some more people. Saidavaliji from Cleveland, Ohio. Anuji from Philadelphia. Shona from Scotland. Shonaji, glad to have you on, a regular and a student. Patrice Williams from Maryland. Yes, glad to have you on, Patrice. Has been a regular student and part of our Friends of HUA chapters. Poonam from Philadelphia, welcome. Pranam, Pranam uncle. Well, I don't know. Jagaji's from Los Angeles. Nirjaji from Chennai. Meena Patel from Orlando. Guru Prakashji, welcome all of you for today's webinar. Kalyanji, with that little introduction, this is an exciting webinar to connect people to our certificate program in Hindu studies. Oh, Shantaji, I got to give you a shout out, Shantaji from Montreal. Thank you for joining. Kuldeep Diman, we got a faculty member. I'll promote you to a panelist shortly. Kuldeepji, thank you for joining from Chandigarh. Jaypati ji from Hartford, Kentucky, namaskar. Kalyanji, let me hand it to you to give us some context, and I'll work in the background to get people up here.
Yeah. Good. Kalika is also in the audience. Okay. Kalika Uttarkar, I believe. All right. Namaste, everybody. I want to welcome you all to today's webinar. We're doing something different today. I'd like to start by saying that, the certificate program in Hindu studies has been recently restructured. We went through a very deep exploration of the previous design, and we looked at its strengths and weaknesses. We looked at which courses are making the biggest impact, which courses are being appreciated by students, and then we went through a process, for a couple of months. We've been sort of reworking the design of the CPHS program, and we're going to share a little bit about the new design of the program. Okay, so that's one of the goals of this webinar. But before we get there, I would like to offer some of the past students who have either completed the certificate program in Hindu studies in its totality, or who've taken enough courses, they are sufficiently advanced in the certificate program in Hindu studies. I'd like to offer them a chance to share a little bit about what impact this program has made on their lives. Okay, so that's a very specific question to the group of students. And I'm going to ask Pragya ji to maybe introduce the students and call on them, maybe to share a little bit about their experience of the certificate program in Hindu studies at HUA and the impact that it has had on their own lives and their engagement in the world around them. Okay, Pragya ji, over to you.
Yeah, namaste, everyone. So, Kalyanji, I would first like to invite William Fairchild. William Fairchild joined this program, CPHS, when it was newly introduced. That was in spring of 2022. And I still remember he was extremely skeptical of joining the program, but now he has graduated, and that too with flying colors, A's and A+ in almost all courses that he has taken. So we are really proud of you, William, and please go ahead and share your experiences. And yes, we would appreciate if you tell us what impact it has made to your life.
Thank you so much. And namaste, everyone. You know, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but there have been things in my life, through my life, that have been quite dramatic and impactful. And this was one of them. I think my pardon me, my skepticism only was a little bit because as a non-Hindu, as an outsider, this was going to be a huge project for me to be able to do, and I can tell you that it was everything that I expected and more, and part of that was because of the staff and the faculty, and that is without question. You know, I tried to take Sanskrit, nearly jumped out of a building, and Kalyan ji talked me down off the ledge. I've had contact with many of the professors and the staff, and I couldn't have found a more welcoming and helpful group of humans to accept somebody from the outside that was trying to come in and learn more. And you know, I really do feel like that as a non-Hindu, I'm still in a position to be able to represent Sanatana Dharma to the world and to my colleagues. I'm a yoga teacher in my retirement years, but I get a lot of interest from my non-Hindu friends about what I've studied and what I've learned, and it's an incredible experience. I see we have a music person here. I had 2 semesters of music. I joined the Raga Club of Connecticut. I'm a regular participant in music that still, you know, I'm still learning. I have a great deal to learn, but my experience, and I did a fair amount of due diligence before I started this project, and what I found one of the things I found and that I wanted to learn from the Hindu perspective, not necessarily from a Western perspective, and I got everything that I wanted, everything that I needed from this program. It's from start to finish. It's been wonderful, and I'm not sure what else I should say, but I'd be happy to answer questions if anybody had any about about what it was like.
Sure. So on that note, right, to the audience, I would say please do put your questions into the question box. Okay, there is a question box, and then we'll pick up the questions as we go along in the webinar. Okay, so William, thank you so much for your engagement with this program, and you're a testament to how people with non-Hindu backgrounds can also participate and enjoy the courses at Hindu University of America.
I'll just say one more thing. There are a couple of my teachers here, and I don't have the words for all that I learned, especially about Hindu philosophy. There are a couple of folks here from the Hindu philosophy staff. It was an amazing experience. It really was.
Terrific. Great. So Pragya, go next person.
I see Anuji is here, and Anuji started the CPHS program in fall of 2022. That was just 2 quarters after William took it. So Anuji, I know you're busy, but if you could just go ahead and share your experience as well.
Yeah, namaste, everyone. Yeah, I did join. I was just looking it up today, and I joined in 2022, the winter session, and I started then. I think, so I've loved the last 3 years. I've taken a course practically, I think every quarter I've taken at least one course, and I like that I've taken a broad variety of courses. So, starting from the introduction to Upanishads, or actually just starting from the initial orientation to Hindu studies. I kind of, at that time, I used to feel bad that being a Hindu, I know so little to be able to talk so little about it. And so I started with that. And, whether it was yoga courses or the Upanishads, introduction to Upanishads or Shaddarshanas or Chanakya's leadership principles. I mean, I went all over the place, and I was taking a lot of different courses. And I thoroughly enjoyed practically every one of them. I think, looking back, maybe my only regret, so to speak, was that I'm still working. So sometimes kind of work got in the way for me, or, some family responsibilities got in the way. So sometimes I felt I didn't give a specific course, a specific quarter, I didn't give it the attention that it deserved, and got as much out of it as I could have. But I think that, and especially this is from my perspective, in the sense that like I said, I was pretty new to it, and I'm from a family where everybody is much more well-versed in it. So I've always been like behind in the family, and it's kind of been good to at least get to a point where I can have some conversations with folks. My husband is very much into all of this, so he takes very detailed courses he takes like an Upanishad, and it goes on for a year. So the whole course will take a year. It's every week. But this has been a good foundation from my perspective. It is broad-based. It teaches a lot about different parts of Hinduism. And it has also made it so that I think I've passed it on to my daughter, and it's kind of helping in the family as well. So I'm close to graduating. I think I just have a few credits left. But I've also been thinking in terms of what next. Okay, I've done this, but as in the same format, what else can I do? Continue taking courses at HUA, maybe go a little deeper now, maybe be able to, and I'm not saying the word yet, but now that I'm a grandmother, I just had a grandchild 2 weeks ago. I do think of the word retirement. So I don't know whether once I do that, I will have a lot more time, and it would be nice to keep going with this. So again, if anyone has any questions more on what I've actually done, or any specific questions, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, great. So like I said, please put your questions in the chat box, and we will, in the question box, sorry, not the chat box, question box, and we'll take them later on in the webinar. Okay, Pragyaji, next person, please.
Next, let's hear from Somnath Sinha. Somnath Sinha joined the program in fall of 2023. So we can, and he had been taking courses with HUA for quite some time, but then, after some conversations we had, he did see some kind of, I would say, attraction in the program, and he enrolled in the program. So Somnathji, please go ahead.
Yeah, you folks twisted my arm, and then I signed on and committed to the certificate program. So it goes back to the first lecture that Kalyanji gave. And as a precursor to this, I would say that I had already, ever since the advent of COVID, I'd started taking online Sanskrit lessons with Sanskrit Bharati. So I was getting my foot in the door, so to speak, in terms of reclaiming my heritage. My primary motivation for that was I was tired of talking about Sanskrit and I wanted to talk in Sanskrit. So once that started going for me, it became a sort of a logical progression to see, okay, what doors does this open? And Kalyanji was, I think, invited by one of the Sanskrit Bharati sessions at some point to speak on HUA, which was being launched at that point in time. And of course, that led to the orientation class, which was, I think, key in orienting us towards what it means to be an Hindu in the global sense of the word. We all, well, I can't claim to speak for all, but I was born as a Hindu, but the Hindu identity, there are many ways to lay claim to a Hindu identity by practice, by identification. And I started to realize that I had to work on it to develop an adhikar to call myself a practicing Hindu. Being born as a Hindu is great, but being born as a human being is great, period. What then makes me unique or special in that sense of the word? So then, of course, the wonderful teachers and all the hard work that Kalyanji and all the people at HUA do to make all these resources available to us. The history by Raj Vedamji, philosophy by Dr. Kalika and Dr. Kuldeep, and all the other things started coming in. Of course, the lectures are in English, but they do tap into the Sanskrit sources to show where the knowledge is coming from. It all helps, in developing a deeper knowledge base, which then helps me as a parent in answering questions, which are really very coarse and crude initially from the kids, right? In your own household. Why do we do these things differently? And why do A, B, Americans or Canadians do something differently? So once you start addressing those questions initially at a very coarse level, but then it gets into a very sort of fine-tuned thing. But I do have answer number 3 and 4 in my bag, which then sort of intrigues the kids that, I'm not just saying something for the sake of making the question go away. And there is a depth to it in terms of peeling of the onion. So, and the third point, obviously, being when you see around you in the world and you see the pain and the trouble our Brahmins and our Rishis have gone through just to preserve a fragment of a statue over 1,000 years of tamas, I think this is one of the least things we can do in terms of expiating the rin towards all those people who were all those years who have brought this knowledge to us at this state, at this day and time. And that's it.
Okay, terrific. Great. So, I just want to emphasize one dimension of the question, which I posed, which is, I am quite confident that the certificate program in Hindu studies delivers on its promise of expanding your understanding, your knowledge, your grounding in Hindu Dharma. Okay, we have no doubt about that. But I would ask the students to focus on the impact. What is the impact of knowledge? You see, okay, we know a lot more than we used to know, So what? So what, what is the fruit of knowledge? What is the phala of knowledge, right? So with that question, I'd like to go back to Pragya, please.
I would like to call upon Karthik Shyamsundar. He joined the program again. He was taking a lot of courses with us on, kind of independent course basis. So yes, I pestered him and he did listen to us and he was really excited to join the program. Karthik ji and his wife Archana ji both are CPHS students since fall of 2023. So Karthik ji, over to you.
Namaste, everyone. Yes, well, first of all, I want to tell you that, I grew up in different parts of the world and I came to the United States when I was 16 years old. I come from a Tamil Iyer family, but really not know much about, Hinduism and things like that. You learn some practices and you kind of go through it. And of course, when your child becomes 7 or 8 years old, you start realizing what is the value system you want to give to your child. I think that's one of the first things that came into my mind. And then I started, and usually you'll send your kids to maybe Chinmaya Mission or one of these different places. And the place I was living, there wasn't any such place. So I had to do the learnings myself. So that's how I got into this. And I would basically research on the internet or ask some other people for some resources. And so all this knowledge was coming into play because I had to explain to my children what dharma is. And still things were not very clear to me. I was able to do certain things. But then when the HUA classes came into play, and the first class that I took was Orientation to Hindu Studies, it gave me a completely different perspective. And since then, I've taken close to 15 classes. Even my wife is taking classes. All the great esteemed teachers are right here. Dr. Kalika ji, Rupali ji, Ashwat ji, different classes that I've taken. So what has it done for me? So I think the important thing is how is it actually impacting, how am I impacting the environment? So one of the first things that I'm really doing as a student is first, once I have a better understanding of this knowledge, I'm also trying to propagate this particular knowledge into my family and also into my community. And so there is a Gita class that I hold every Sunday. And so the information that I'm conveying to them is very valuable because now I have some authentic source through which I can actually get some of the information that I really need. So I think my classes have become better from that perspective. There's also interfaith groups that I participate in. So I try to be more present in those groups and be knowledgeable because in the interfaith groups, what I find is there are imams, there are pastors, and there are rabbis, and here I am. And so that at least even though I don't have a title, at least I feel I have the knowledge to contribute and share information about our faith. I wish there was some kind of a program that allows me to be a representative of such a group. I also participate and give talks in the local forums like Hindu Women's Network or at any of these different Hindu organizations. Whatever knowledge that I have, do my research and try to propagate the knowledge that's out there. So help people from different backgrounds to understand this knowledge that we have. So that's what I'm trying to do, and it's been life changing for me, and I plan to continue to take these classes till the end of my life. That's all I can say. There is not enough class. There's so many classes that's out there. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Thank you so much for everything that you all do.
Yeah, thanks so much, Karthik ji. And clearly, our goal is to promote lifelong learning. Lifelong learning. And like I said, so I am the president of the university, but I'm also a student of the university. I'm always taking classes. I'm always in one course or another. I don't think a single quarter has passed when I have not been in a class of some kind. So this the impact of knowledge, what does it do in terms of our desire to participate in new ways within the world? Okay, so that's the area of interest. Pragya ji, back to you.
We've got Rahul Sheth amongst the student panelists, student speakers today. He's the newest one. He started the CPHS journey in winter of 2024. So, but he has been a very sincere student. I mean, all of them are. So Rahulji, please share your experience, what motivated you, and what have you got from us so far?
Thank you, Pragyaji. My personal experience has been, for me, I was very confused about what was happening all along. I come from an English medium school studying in India, but what you study in school is completely different from what you see at home, because I'm in conservative family. So that there was always this confusion in the mind about what is that dichotomy about what we are studying versus what we see. That was one thing for sure. The second thing for me, I got interested into antiquity of Indian history. I started following Professor Raj Vedam on his YouTube videos about 4 or 5 years back. So I come from North India. My wife is from South India, and for me it was a big shock because I had experienced this Aryan Dravidian divide in general in my life over the last 25-30 years. Closely, I have seen that closely, personal experiences. And for me to find out that might be a hoax, complete hoax, was a big shock. So that kind of shook my foundation of what my beliefs were. And I wanted to find out more about not just the Hinduism as a this thing, but about how we got here was what got me started. One of my friends' husband is a PhD student at HUA, so he guided me. I reached out to him for some guidance, and he said that why don't you start with some courses at HUA, see what you feel. And I started with
You started with Varna Jati.
Varna Jati course under Kalyanji. And it had such a big impact on me that nobody had to twist my hand to say that go ahead and enroll into the program. I went ahead and called Pragyaji immediately and said, I'm going to enroll in the CPHS program. And that started my journey. To me, I have taken varied courses, orientation to Hindu studies, understand ability to do pujas, daily pujas at home under Ashwatji, ability to do Vishnu Sahasranamam under Mrityunjayi, Raj Vedam's astronomy course to understand Hindu calendar versus English calendar and the antiquity of that. It's so my journey has started recently, but the experience has been just it's difficult to explain what I'm going through. I mean, it's basically has provided, it's a personal journey of me understanding my heritage, our identity, and our place in the world. And that journey has been just amazing. I mean, it continues. I want to say one thing for sure. The staff is extremely friendly, very knowledgeable. They encourage open discussions during class. They are available off hours, both the teachers as well as the admin staff. Pragya ji calls me anytime that I'm available to talk and guide me. So that is great. And one thing that I had a medical issue, so I had to take time off for 1 quarter. and that was not an issue. They would allow me to take the time off and then continue again. So those are some of the things, and yeah, I mean, it continues, and I'm extremely glad that this thing, I feel much confident of where I am today. And just like others, other panelists, what they have communicated, I try to spread the message in the community, to my family, of course. All the assignments that I do, I show it to my kids, encourage them to ask questions and spread the knowledge. So the journey continues, and I look forward, and I can answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Terrific. Great. So, I think there are a few more people who'd like to share. But in the interest
Just
of
one
time,
more. Just one more, Kalyanji. That is
Okay.
one of our first graduates of the program.
okay.
Shantaji is here.
Ah,
So we can just hear her experience. She was one of the first program enrollees, one of our first graduates. So for our audience, Shantaji comes from Canada, and she's an active member in her Hindu society in Canada. So Shantaji, please go ahead.
Namaste, everyone. It's so wonderful to see all my favorite people here today. And Pragya ji, Guruji, Ashwat ji, I love him. And Kalyan ji, you are so wonderful. The best thing that has happened to me in my life is the Hindu University of America. Sumedha ji, namaste. Rupali ji, I've taken your courses, wonderful. And Kalika ji, I'm so blessed that I have come in contact with Kalyan ji, and today we are focusing on Kalyan ji, but each and every one has been so special to me. And Kalyan ji, of course, has inspired me to stay in Hindu University of America. He ignited the curiosity in me. As you know, I had no background of Hindu Dharma, and I could see that his dedication goes beyond the classroom, and he instills love for learning. And he has left an everlasting impact on me. I can say that because I keep talking about Hindu University of America, courses, the different, whosoever I meet. And so you can see that how it has impacted me. Of course, what I will be doing or what I'm doing, it's not really that great. I mean, we have to do whatever we can do in the situation we are. So I keep learning, I keep taking courses to empower myself. And Kalyanji certainly brought so much clarity, and he brings confidence. Those are the two words I always remember. And I wish I could take more courses with Kalyanji, but then I took some other courses depending on my convenience and situation. But I feel that Kalyanji has the grace of his gurus to do Kalyan of Hindu Dharma. And everyone should take that course, Orientation in Hindu Studies. Actually, every course is wonderful, but Kalyanji's course was an eye-opener for me. There's so much to learn in every field of Hindu Dharma, and it's all put in one capsule. So that was amazing. I mean, I wish I could do more for Hindu University of America, but I'll continue taking courses and continue to propagate Hindu Dharma in the capacity that I can. So
great.
I let other people speak about their experiences. But as I said, I've turned 80 years, and this is the best thing that has happened to me in my life.
Wow. That's a pretty extraordinary thing to say. and I want to emphasize something, see, many of you belong to a generation where the business of living got focused on making a living, being successful, having a good career, raising good children, and understanding Hindu Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, receded into the background. And I could say that for a few generations. Okay. Now, the opportunity in front of us in terms of protecting this Dharma, right, is to really share it with the next generation and the next generations, coming generations. This Dharma is Sanatana because of its inbuilt capacity to get transmitted across the generations. Correct? Without that transmission, it'll be dead. In one generation, it'll be over. But somewhere, people, even though they come late to it in their own lives, they do come. So this Dharma has that attraction that people do come eventually more fully into this Dharma. And the challenge, the great challenge before us is to transmit this Dharma effectively to the next generation. And it's a challenge because, as you can see, we don't have a lot of young people here in this panel, in this class, in this webinar. We don't have a lot of the young people. What can we do about it, right? I want to invite the graduates of the certificate program in Hindu Studies to actually take this particular challenge on more seriously. How do we share? How do we talk? How do we communicate to the next generation who are easily influenced by Western frameworks of thought, Western paradigms of knowledge, Western view of world history, Western progressivism, all of which positions this Dharma as something very ancient, something very old, something perhaps not so relevant in today's world, today's age, today's time. And it takes time, for them to overcome this initial perspective and come to this Dharma. What would be possible if they came to it earlier in their lives and not when they are 70s, not when they're 75, not after retirement. This is not a Dharma for the retirees, right? This is a Dharma for the young. And that's a challenge that we all have to take on. It's a shared challenge. Now, having said that, I would like to ask Sumedha to share the website of this certificate program in Hindu Studies, and I'll just kind of point to what has happened in terms of the new design of the program. So, Sumedha, can you bring up the website, please? Yeah, so this is the certificate program in Hindu Studies, and I'd like to read out the program learning outcomes. So if you go down to that's the section, okay. You can go up a little bit. Program learning outcomes. Through this certificate program, students will be able to, number one, clarify the Hindu paradigm. Now, the word paradigm obviously is a Western word. It encapsulates many things. It means worldview. It means cosmology. It encapsulates philosophy, a way of understanding our place in the world, our place in the cosmos. Clarify that. Clarify the Hindu paradigm. Articulate the contemporary relevance of Hindu thought. The contemporary relevance of Hindu thought. We could have said that as the relevance of Hindu Dharma. We live in a world today that clearly gets easily polarized into two extremities. Yeah. And people are quick to take sides, one side or the other. And this polarization is everywhere to see. Right? Dharma as a concept intrinsically strives for balance, strives for order across polarities, across what is apparently opposing each other, right? There is balance. Dharma is balance. It's one way of understanding. That's the contemporary relevance of Hindu thought. It's how to bring balance, how to bring harmony, how to bring an understanding of life which is not conflict-ridden, but rather that promotes harmony within ourselves, in ourselves as human beings, that promotes harmony in our immediate family, in our immediate society, in our circumstances, harmony across the nations, harmony across communities of races, peoples, and harmony across the generations. So there is the potential and possibility of Sanatana Dharma. And that's its relevance. And that relevance will never die as long as we understand what is this Dharma that is Sanatana. Number 3, apply their learning to think from a Hindu context. Means, how do you approach the contemporary challenges we face in the world today and bring principles from Hindu Dharma to bear upon those circumstances that we are faced with, whether it is education, whether it is family values, whether it is, society, whether it is conflict and peace, whether it is health, holistic health and well-being, spirituality, whether it is leadership for our generations and the next. In every possible domain, how to think from a Hindu context. Apply their learning to think from a Hindu context. Create new pathways for service, leadership, and global engagement. To move into a realm of engagement through service, through leadership, and making a difference in the world around us. So that's an important possibility. And one of our goals, one of our intentions is to promote that desire, that interest in our students to expand out into the world, into the communities in which they participate in service through leadership and global engagement. And lastly, contribute with confidence and clarity in unique and innovative ways. Dharma has to be interpreted. It is situational, it's dynamic, it has got one leg in eternity, Sanatana. But it's got another leg that moves through time. And every situation, every circumstance, every yuga, every age, every era, every kala and desha, every place and time requires us to interpret that dharma for our times and place. right? And to interpret it with confidence and clarity in unique and innovative ways. So these are the program learning outcomes. Now, it will be our aspiration to deliver on these outcomes through the various courses that constitute the certificate program in Hindu studies. So please go down. So we are going to look at the structure of the program, and we made some changes. So earlier we had a single division. We had a basket of courses which we called core courses. And then we had another basket of courses which we called elective courses. Okay, now we're changing that a little bit. Can you go up a little bit, Sumedhaji? No, the other direction, go down. Yeah. The change design requires students to take 18 credit hours from the core distributions. And we've identified 4 distributions. And they are core Hindu studies, from which students have to take 9 credits from this distribution. Hindu texts, traditions, and practices, at least 3 credits from this distribution. Holistic health, yoga, and Ayurveda, at least 3 credits from this distribution. And Hindu history, at least 3 credits from this distribution. Okay, so this we believe really brings a little bit more balance to the structure of the program. And then the remaining 6 credits, out of the 24, can be taken from anywhere, really from anywhere. Meaning, you can take any 6 credits from the preceding 4 distributions to complete the certificate program, or you can go to the community education program and take any course from the community education program as well. Okay, so now let us look at each of these distributions a little more closely. Okay, so if you open up the Hindu studies foundations area as an area of study under core Hindu studies, okay, we're saying that the orientation to Hindu studies course is a required course to complete the certificate program. It's required. And it's a great entry point, and we recommend that everybody enters through that program, to that course. But some people enter through some other course, which is okay. And, and you can join it whenever it is convenient for you. Then there are courses such as Swadharma, Discovering and Living a Life Purpose, Introduction to the Vedic Ritual, Introduction to Vedic Chanting, that is performative, how to understand the ritual dimension of Sanatana Dharma, and how to engage with that dimension responsibly instead of just critically, like we've all learned to look at ritual. Our school textbooks taught us ritual is something silly people do, and people who are smart engage with science, right? Ritual was opposed to science. Then there are courses on philosophy, Hindu philosophy, Shaddarshanas, Upanishads, parts 1 and 2, meditation and the meditator. It's a very important course. Self-knowledge in the quest for happiness. Then there are 2 courses on bhakti, wisdom 1, heart of wisdom 1 and 2. There's a course on Hindu Dharmic parenting, which I would recommend to all young parents, people who are dealing with young children growing up in the American school environment, and they are easily caught up in the narratives of progressive leftist narratives very easily. There is a place for that, but it has to be balanced with an understanding of Sanatana Dharma. Hindu Dharmic parenting is a fantastic course. Chanakya's leadership principles for the 21st century. It's a great course that distills the Chanakya's thought and how to apply it in our contemporary world. Distinguishing Varna and Jati from caste. That's a very important course because it's an area of tremendous confusion amongst the Hindu community. And then go back to Introduction to Hinduism, Hindu Samskaras. We'll be launching that course very soon. The 16 Hindu Samskaras. Then under texts and traditions, we have a whole variety, a basket full of courses. We have Dasa Shanti Mantras, a very detailed exposition of the Shanti Mantras. You can understand the whole of Sanatana Dharma just through the Shanti mantras. Then we have Sadhana Panchakam. It's a great text from Adi Shankaracharya. Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, Lalita Sahasranama Stotra. I mean, these are great practices. Many of us do engage in these practices. Wouldn't it be great if we could understand the meaning of these mantras, even as we engage in the practice of chanting and participating in rituals and so on. Please go back. Sumitaji, go back to that. Hello. What happened? Sumitaji, where are you? Okay. I'm going to share. I don't know what happened to her. Let me share my screen. Why am I not being allowed to share, Ankur?
You should be able to. It might be a little glitch because Sumitaji, I think, just got internet issue. Try again.
No, it's not letting me share. It just bounces back.
Do you want me to share?
Okay, try.
Nothing.
Please try.
I think I'll be able to share. Just give me a minute.
So, I mean, let me continue. So we just looked at the first area, okay, the Hindu Studies Foundations area. I'd encourage all of you to take a look at the website, go to the various distributions, such as Hindu Texts and Traditions, the Yoga and Ayurveda sections, the Hindu History section, and then also look at the elective section, the Community Education section. I mean, there's a tremendous variety of courses, and we thought we'll bring a little bit of order and rigor to the way we distribute the courses. So that's the big change in the certificate program in Hindu Studies. Okay, I would like to perhaps let it go. We don't need to go through all the courses in the program. People can look at it on the website. I'd like to invite some of the faculty to share a little bit, if they would like, about the new design and maybe what they think, and their own courses in the design, their own place in the overall design. Okay, so who would like to begin? Maybe let's start with Ashwatji, and then we'll go to the next person. Ashwatji, please.
Namaste. Kalyanji, this was a wonderful discussion, and I'm also very glad to hear the responses from all our students and many of you who have taken the courses. I see an enormous amount of enthusiasm in the courses that I have offered, which is the Introduction to Vedic Ritual. And you were talking about the impact of what our courses has on our students. I have received a number of emails and telephone calls where they have said they have actually started performing every day the Sandhya Vandana based on our class. And they have been actually practicing the daily puja. One of the biggest barriers that Kalyanji, you identified is that how ritual is looked down upon in contrast to science or pursuit of scientific knowledge. These people who have taken to actually putting the Vedic learning into practice are very accomplished scientists. They have been able to find a value. And one anecdotal feedback I got was recently we had Mahashivratri. So in Mahashivratri, in the various temples, and many of my students have also gone to India, and they have participated in the Mahashivratri celebrations of in Mahakumbha. They have also participated in the Satya Sai Baba Foundation, in Jaggi Vasudev, Isha Foundation. And all of them came back and told me not about the beautiful setting or the arrangements. What they said was they felt so thrilled because they could actually chant and participate. They were talking about their own ability to chant and join in the chanting, whereas they were mute spectators all these years. So I think that is very powerful. Then a complementary upcoming course would be the Hindu Samskaras. In the Hindu Samskaras, of course, with the very elaborate samskaras such as the Vivaha or the Upanayana, perhaps still we will have professional priests conduct. There is no reason why the minor samskaras, such as naming a child, Namakarana, the Mundana Samskara, the Annaprashana, the first feed of the Samskara, why we could not empower our students themselves to do it either at home or they can be of service to their community. So that is another impact I am seeing, that many of our students are also actually performing some of these samskaras. So in a summary, what I would say is that there are two parts to that. One is the theoretical knowledge of the why and the how, and the second is actually using that in our everyday life. And the everyday life will become actually the living dharma. And I'm open to any questions on this, dear friends, Kalyanji. And so that is the impact that I do see on our in our courses. And I'm sure that would be the experience of all our other teachers also, whether it is yoga, they will be actually, they have taken to the practice of yoga, whether it is Ayurveda and nutrition. I'm sure the people have changed their dietary habits after taking the course. So tremendous impact has taken place. And just like a river's origin is just a puddle of water, and as it flows, it becomes a huge river, a Ganga. And I think that Jnana Ganga will expand. And I see the course restructure actually accomplishes that. So I do congratulate on the new design of the course structure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Ashwaji, Ankur, you want to throw up the survey? We can ask participants to fill out the survey. So let me now go to another faculty member. Okay. It is Kalika ji. Dr. Kalika Uttarkar. Why don't you go next?
Okay. Thank you, Kalyanji. And namaste to all. Namaste to all my students and all the participants. So being part of HUA has been a wonderful thing that has happened to me in my life. So I'm a faculty and also a student here. Even I like to take courses from the co-faculties. So it's a lifelong journey of understanding, knowing. It's a process of upgrading ourselves internally. So it's wonderful. Similar feedbacks I have received from the students who participated and took classes in the Upanishadic process of knowing, even in the Shed Darshan. One very beautiful reaction that I received through an email was that one of the students said that I have learned to identify myself as a divine being, which was lacking and which created so much of confusion and sorrow in my mind. So, understanding the core principles of Hindu philosophy works here. It nourishes our roots. And therefore, these courses help students and all of us, of course, to realize that we are not limited. And sadly, due to the history that we have had for past 2000 years and 1000 years specifically, we have forgotten to realize that we are divine beings on this earth. We are colonized, we have been oppressed by the invaders, our cultural and religious ecosystem has been destroyed, and now we are somewhere trying to reclaim everything. So in this process, HUA is trying to fill this gap in its own way by creating courses which can create a parallel ecosystem of learning and knowing. And we have been thinking about this while designing the CPHS program, and amazing response from all of you. But looking forward, we want people who will advocate this and spread it more in the society, in the community, and across the world. So I invite you all to be part of this process because it's an ongoing process, it's a movement, and we need to play our part. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste. Okay, let me now invite, where is Dr. Kuldeep Dhiman? I saw him somewhere. Dr. Kuldeep Dhiman, couple of minutes from you.
Namaste. Thank you, Kalyanji. It's so nice to see you all. HUA's faculty and office members and others who are present here. Is the sound okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And generally, students say that their life has changed after, getting associated with some university. But this is the first time I'm hearing that even teachers are saying that their life has got changed after getting associated with HUA. And I'm not flattering here, but the fact is, our president Kalyanji, his style of functioning is very non-interfering style of administrate. The way he runs this university, he guides, but at least with me, I've never seen any interference from him. He may have guided sometimes, but so when you give a free hand to a person, then we try to put our best, right? So that's one thing I really like, and even all other Sumedha ji and all of the rest of them, they cooperate whenever there is something not clear, and yes, this interaction was lacking a bit because after students do a course, they should be, they should, like how in college we keep going back to our university, even if we have finished, we love to go back. And so maybe, I don't know whether there something like alumni association, would it be possible to organize something like that? So that, see, right now it's only a few years, but 10 years from now, there'll be so many students and you can share, they could be called and they could interact. And so this is one thing I would like to say. And second is, most of our students, as you say, are over, say, 40 or 50. And that I also noticed. And when I brought it up once, Kalyanji did answer that. He said, because we are looking for accreditation. So once we get accreditation, we would get younger people. And that I believe is right because younger people also want jobs. It's not, It's only later when most of us are not learning to get a job. We are learning to get some questions answered. So that's one thing. So we'll get younger people also. I'm quite certain once the accreditation is accepted. And what I've noticed is I think at least more than 90% of the students are from the US. At least that's my experience. I feel the reason for that is, and some of them are from the Far East and maybe India sometime. I think that's because of the time zone problem. The whole of Europe and the whole that, vertically, if you take the belt, the time zone doesn't suit them. It's around 2 a.m. in the morning for them. And they say we can't, it's not possible for us to take up the courses, although we would love to. And I see a lot of potential there in Europe because, see, they come to India. Most of them are, I think, among the Westerners, the majority of them are from Europe and Germany. And so if there could be one team that focuses, on Europe, that's what I would like to. That's my.
All right. So
suggestion.
Kuldeepji, yeah. So so that's a good point. We will take that into consideration and see what we can do to support audiences from the European geography. Okay. We are 7 minutes past the hour. I'm going to address a couple of questions. I want to tell you something. Okay. The Q&A box is for questions. Okay. So it would be nice if you put questions into the Q&A box and not comments. Okay. Is there a class in advocacy in the Hindu studies? I want to take up that question. Okay. Poonam Singalji. See, this afternoon at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, we are starting a course called Being Hindu in the Emerging World Order. Being Hindu in the Emerging World Order. It's a very interesting, unique course, and we have a batch of about 26 students, all in the age group from about 17 through 24. All the 26 students are in that age group. Okay. And it has got two components. It's a component grounding the students in Hindu Dharma. That's one component. And there is a parallel component that will help them prepare for upcoming congressional internships. Meaning these kids will go to a 2-month internship with the Congress and congressmen, senators in Washington, D.C. And also some of them will go to state legislatures and so on. And the course has got a whole track on how to engage effectively with policy making, with writing briefs, with doing background research, with supporting lawmaking processes, and it's got a deep component of advocacy. Many faculty are teaching in this course. It's a new course. It's going to be done launched and delivered for the very first time. I'm personally very excited about it. And, many of these students, these 26 students, will get placed in congressional internships over the summer this year. So this is Poonamji, this is for you. This is our first foray into a little bit of advocacy orientation. Okay. Next, going on.
Kalyanji, there
Yeah.
is a question by Himaniji, if you see that. I think we should take up this question. It's not a question, it's a statement, but this is something that I feel is important.
Which statement? He's got several statements.
Himaniji is saying, I have grown up in Delhi. I
Yeah.
do not think that as a parent, I need to do these courses.
No, that's fine. If you feel you don't need to
So
take the
we
course,
can
you
just
don't.
we can, yeah?
No, listen, if somebody feels they don't need to take it, they don't need to take it. I mean, that's the answer to that question.
No, not because of that. Maybe why these courses are important, not just for one parent. Why, as maybe Kalikaji will be able to explain it. Why do we need these courses for, not, I wouldn't say children, young adults and parents alike.
Okay.
Actually,
I don't want to speak saying people need this course when they're saying I don't need this course. Why should I convince them?
Not just for one specific person,
No,
just as
I'm not
group of
gonna
people, if we have
I'm not gonna
time.
enter that domain, please.
Okay.
If somebody feels
I-
they don't need this, they don't need this. Let it go. That's it.
Yeah,
there is no
as a
need. Who is speaking, please?
This is
Karthik.
Karthik. I said, as a student, can I say what my opinion is in terms of why I thought this course was important?
Yeah, but Karthik, you can, okay. But why would it persuade somebody who feels they don't need this course? Okay. Some people will feel they need this program, and we hope there are many, many who will come to that conclusion and take these programs. Some people will feel I don't need all this, which is fine. Okay. Karthik ji, I hope I'm not sort of cutting off this discussion, but I don't want to
There
speak.
is there is a shastra, there is Dharma Shastra statement, na pruchata kaschidit bruyat. If somebody is not interested, we should not respond at all.
Correct. Yeah. So Karthik ji, please forgive me for saying that, okay? But I think that, a couple of the students said, I got arm twisted into doing this program. I hope we don't arm twist anybody. And I hope, whatever we do, it's more in the realm of gentle persuasion, okay? And, sometimes one has to get persuaded into joining. And then once they join, the whole thing completely transforms. And they say, wow. I mean, I've had people who said to me who didn't take any courses for 4 or 5 years, and then they said, why didn't you encourage me to do it earlier? Okay, I would have done it earlier. But hey, and they forget that I did tell them to do it earlier. They just weren't ready. So there is this issue of readiness. Okay, readiness. There comes a time when, as a student, we are ready, and nobody can push, nobody can make that happen. It is one of those things that HUA will become available when the student is open. Just like the guru. My guru told me, the guru will come into your life when the shishya is ready for the guru. There's no shortcut to that, and our own readiness is the challenge here. Okay, but we can certainly do our bit to promote and position these programs and courses. At least talk about it, make people aware of it, so that at least people have the opportunity to engage in this. Okay, so let me take, are there any more questions here? Salil Gupta is saying, is there a formal measurement for impact? Not really. What you're seeing here is just a sort of an informal conversation at the moment. Yeah. And then Patrice Williams, you're asking, is there a possible to create schedule of classes? Yeah, absolutely. Please have a conversation with Pragya Vats, and she'll be happy to personalize your schedule and so on. Okay. Let me pause here. Are there any more comments? Any of the faculty you want to offer an insight into anything that has transpired so far?
Shall I go briefly, Kalyanji?
Rupali, yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, namaste everyone. Rupali Panse here. I am based in Orlando and I offer 4 Ayurveda courses for HUA. I consider myself very fortunate to be a part of HUA family. And this certificate program of Hindu studies, if you see the structure, it is very thoughtfully designed, unique offered certificate program from HUA. And Ayurveda is integral part of this certificate program. I'm very glad that Ayurveda is included, because we all know that Ayurveda itself originated from Vedas. So we cannot separate this particular health science, and it is an integral part of Hindu studies. By understanding Ayurveda principles, we can definitely appreciate the traditional knowledge system more. The whole purpose or the pursuit for a dharma, artha, kama, moksha, right? So if you want to attain these four important goals in your life, we need to consider Ashtashuddhi, which is again a very important segment of all the Hindu studies, rituals, and all Vedic practices. So Kaya, Vacha, Mana, Atma, Bhava Shuddhi, Ahara Shuddhi, Karma Shuddhi, and Dravya Shuddhi. So all these Shuddhis, if you achieve properly, then you are learning Hindu religion, you are doing Hindu religious practices. And I guess Ayurveda contributes a lot attaining in these Shuddhis, because if you consider Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha as your destination, then Hindu studies will be your Google map, but you need a vehicle for that, and your body and your mind is a vehicle to reach to all these purpose in your life. And I guess Ayurveda contributes a lot in overall purification of body, purification of mind, and preparing your body, offering you holistic health to practice all Hindu religious activities, Hindu knowledge or traditional knowledge system. So I highly encourage all of you to definitely consider this certificate program. Please ask if you have any question. We are here to answer you. And it's very nice to see all participants here and fellow faculties and students. And thank you for giving an opportunity to have a talk here. Thank you.
Okay.
May I give a small feedback if there is time? Just one.
No, Kuldipji, sorry, there's no time. Okay, we're going to end it now. Ankur, please, can you share the results of the survey, and then we will close the webinar. Okay, please. Sorry, Kuldipji, we're running over task schedule. Okay.
No, it was a
Yeah.
neutral feedback. I thought it will help you.
Okay, can give it to me. Write me a note. Okay, I'll listen to you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And
So
you
we
know,
have
for the
11 people who are definitely interested in taking courses in the next quarter. Thank you. Do enroll in the certificate program in Hindu Studies. If you have questions, you have Pragyaji, you have all of us to answer your questions. If you're a maybe, get off the fence and take a course. I think this webinar should have pushed you that way. And if you're not interested in enrolling, do your part in whatever that means. I don't know, but I'm glad to be a part of this. We're on a 1,000-year mission here at Hindu University of America. Kalyanji says we're not just building a university to be middle of the pack. We're setting the standard for Hindu Dharma, the academic study of Hindu Dharma. So with that, Kalyanji, how would you like to end this webinar?
Yeah. So, first of all, I want to extend my gratitude to all the students who've taken the certificate program in Hindu Studies. Thank you for joining today and sharing your thoughts on the program. I want to express my gratitude to the faculty who joined today to share their thoughts on this program. And to all the prospective students who have not yet taken the certificate program, I would, as I said, I would gently encourage you to step into it. It's a fantastic opportunity. And a great place to begin is the Orientation to Hindu Studies course, which is a required course. It's starting next quarter, so please do step into that. And for the faculty who are joined today, I would say, we will have more occasion to be together to talk about the design of the program and how to expand enrollment into the program. So that's a conversation that we have begun, and it will continue. And I hope that you'll all participate actively in that process. With that, I'd like to say thank you, namaskar, namaste to everybody. Thank you for joining, and look forward to seeing you in a program or a course very, very soon. Namaskar. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Namaste.
Okay.